Welcome back to the Christian Women's Health Collective podcast. We're so glad you are here. We're in the month of June. Today, we're going to switch it up just a little bit per request from one of our membership members who has asked us to talk more about supplements and foods for a more natural way to deal with mental health problems or just whatever. You know, are you stressed? Are you having a bad, sad day or multiples, whatever the case may be? That's what we're going to talk about today. And I have to tell you that I am recording this opener after we got through recording the podcast and the training, and you are totally missing out if you're not in our membership group to hear the training part of this. But the podcast in itself is full of some really great information on how to supplement, how to deal with mental health from a natural perspective. So,
well, I did a couple of things that I would say would be natural mental health supplements. And I don't know, to me, but I don't know if this is what she's talking about, but I think it kind of starts in a lot of ways, like the products in your home. What do you use? And what is the air that you breathe? What is the detergent that you use? Because to me, that's part of the supplement, right? And then I think the other part is, okay, so your own appeal, most people, because there is a reason. So you can't just say, well, I'm not going to take that pill anymore. I'm going to go stray and go natural.
mm-hmm.
But I believe that you can take different things. Like for us, it was Juice Plus, or we changed to honey, and we did things that changed our health so we could stop taking those medications or whatever. I think of those things as natural mental health supplements, but then I also think like D, right? Vitamin D, or people, I mean, I think vitamin D there's obviously something to vitamin D, but I think it's the quality too, because everybody, in all the studies I hear, they mention vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. So, but I really think quality has a lot to do with it. But I think here's the biggest thing. And this always cracks me up. And so y'all can help me understand. But people will say, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy. I'm going to use all natural, all essential oils. And then you walk in their house and they have plug-ins, or they're burning candles, or, you know, and I think that's really where it starts, is looking at your home. What do you use every day? What's in your home? And what does that look like? Because you can go on a natural health supplement and be spraying something more toxic than what, you know, you're doing with anything else. So that was, for me, that was kind of like the start of it, was, you know, like, what am I surrounding myself with? And could it really be making a difference in my health? And it does, because y'all, if I go into somebody's house and they have like Bath and Body, I can instantly change, like a feeling in my eyes and in my head. And I was one of those girls that would sniff every single scent to try to find, like, I wanted the strongest, most lasting scent in there. And then come Thanksgiving, I would probably spend, this is so embarrassing, I'd probably spend $500 because I wanted, you know, enough for the sale to last me all year. So I would study the scents. And there's also a freedom, I think, in not having to do that. So that's, you know, the mental health aspect, I think, too, that comes with when you change. Because for me, when I was on the supplements, the scents, the sprays, the cleaners, I was a hoarder. You know, there were so many options. There were so many things. And it was an anxiety too, because did I have it? Did I not have enough? Did I want more? Which one smelled the best? Or, or even price, you know, I would have the most expensive just because of a certain, you know, quirk about it. But then I'd go in the dollar store and buy more. Now I know my product. I've got one that smells delicious. If, you know, they say, I wouldn't test it, but they say if a child drank it, you know, they would be safe, because that's just what they are. And I mean, it smells good, but I don't have to, so it kind of did more things than just the supplements. It changed who I am. Do you know what I mean? And I think mental health kind of goes with that. Because I think when you know you're clean and you're doing the right thing, it kind of reframes that, like, maybe some of those triggers of things that you know you're not supposed to do, but you're not really sure because it's what you've always done. And then it just kind of puts you on a path of, oh, you know what, it feels good and it smells good. And in the end, I'm not spending more money, because we always like, oh, it's so much money if I go healthy. But I think when you identify like what works for you and you find happiness in it, then sometimes it really is less money and it brings you joy using something that you love when you've been searching for a hole the whole time. If you're like, a lot of people are, and that we all hoard somewhere when it comes to these things. So to end that was amazing. But I think finding the supplements too is kind of difficult. And I don't want to say difficult. I think it's a journey that is worth traveling, because we think like there's got to be one certain thing. And if it doesn't work, well, then, we just kind of stop and halfway use it. But I've learned through this, it takes some things a little while. And then it's interesting to see how the change happens and what that change looks like. And then the benefits of doing it, because then you're like, holy cow, I can really see the difference, like whether it's in your skin or, the smell of your home or whatever, or even the look of your home. It's really cool. It's been fun for me to think about. I've not really ever thought about my natural mental health supplements. And some people may see it as like a pill or more to it, but I just think it really goes deeper than that.
I'm not a huge fan of supplements. I take an electrolyte packet or two every day, or drink it in my water. It has magnesium, potassium, and sodium in it. I feel like if our electrolytes are off balance, it can certainly create some mental health issues. I actually have a friend right now who thinks that her electrolytes are off balance and she's dealing with some severe anxiety. And we're just kind of working through that. But I agree with what you said. Toxins in the air can be, from a brain health perspective, there are people who get Alzheimer's from mold and the toxins that are in those plugins, because you're just breathing in chemicals constantly when you're sitting in a house that's got those plugged in or candles burning or whatever. So I think that that's a really good idea. We talk a lot. This month we're focused on going outside, and the way that society is today. I work in an office 10 hours a day, sometimes 9 to 10 hours a day. And now that the sun shines, well, the sun doesn't really shine. We're having a very cold winter or summer, but now that we can actually go outside without snow on the ground, I do go for a walk almost every day. Today we went for about a almost 2-mile walk, and it was awesome, because when you're sitting in an office in artificial light and not getting any sun or any UV, I guess I should say, because it doesn't have to be the sun, but it's the UV, that can be really detrimental for mindset and mental health. So, those are a few of the things that I really focus on. I have been to, I've not really had a lot of mental health issues in terms of seeing a doctor or psychiatrist, psychologist, whatever you want to call them. I did go to therapy for a little while, and it was amazing, and I highly recommend it. But what I do is see naturopathic doctors. However, I just had a conversation about this today. I also know that doctors who focus on natural health and wellness will really push their supplements on you. And so I would just, if anybody is listening to this and they think that that's functional medicine or naturopathic medicine is the way that they would want to go, I would just caution you to not get sucked into a multi-$1,000 supplement regimen without doing some of your own research or consulting multiple people about it, because they still are trying to make money. And a friend of mine just today was talking about these supplements that she's been taking because they told her she needed it and she's not seeing any relief. So I just, it is really important to find what works for you. And we can only tell you what works for us, or I can only tell you what works for me and what I know has worked for other people. And, I just think supplementation needs to only happen if you are like for me in the wintertime, D is important, but you need to take D with vitamin K too as well, because you can't absorb D without vitamin K. And so those are important things to know. So now you know how you need to supplement your D, and I'll pass the baton on.
I want to piggyback off of what you were saying, because I think a lot of people with, I don't know, anxiety, depression, like all those kind of things could be a simple fix. And by that, I mean going to see a doctor that you trust, or naturopath or nurse practitioner, whoever it is, and just getting some blood work done. Like maybe your iron levels are low. Maybe your thyroid is having issues. Maybe your adrenal glands are shut. Maybe you're under a lot of stress. Maybe your vitamin D levels are low. Maybe you're not synthesizing hormones correctly. Like maybe your testosterone is low. Like there are so many things that could be contributing to those feelings, and just going and getting some simple lab work would be hugely beneficial before adding in whatever types of supplements, so that without a doubt, like, oh, you know what, my B12 levels are low. No wonder I'm so tired. No wonder my brain is foggy. Like, and you need all of those things like magnesium and vitamin D. You need all of those things to make the correct hormones. And when you're filling your life, like Julie was saying, with things that are toxic to your body, you're disrupting your body's normal way of producing hormones, of dealing with stress and anxiety and all of those things. And so if your body might not be absorbing what it needs to absorb, or maybe you're not intaking enough of what it needs, but you're not going to know that necessarily unless you go and get lab work done. So I would recommend highly having lab work done before you start any supplement regimen, by someone who knows how to read those things and know what the therapeutic levels are for those things. So on top of that, so I'm like, yes, I'm seconding everything that both of you said, but also get your lab work done. It might be something simple. And if it's not, you can work on that. So you have to find someone that you trust to help you with those things. But other things that you can do are, like Julie was saying, eliminating toxins in your food, eliminating toxins in your environment, eliminating toxins in your things that you cook with, your cookware, eliminating toxins in your body products and what you wear and what you put on your hair and all of those things, and what you smell, and getting time outside, doing the good things like getting sunshine, like all of those things can contribute to better mental health. And I would like to add on top of that, something that people rarely ever think of is getting tested and treated for parasites, whether that's with drugs or with naturopathic things. Is that parasites can cause all kind of issues with absorption and weird symptoms and neurological issues and things like that. And it's just something that people don't think of in a first world country. And so I would highly recommend, if you've never been treated for parasites, to look into that. And lastly, but of course not least, is fasting. Fasting is a natural way to increase your happy feelings and reset your brain, reset your body, eliminate toxins, lose weight, get off of sugar. Sugar can cause emotional highs and lows with candida and things like that. And so there is just like, I feel like I could go on and on and on forever, but like those are just a few basic things. So I will let Sheri have her say.
Well, I agree with all of you. Yeah, and it with what Julie said, with the toxins in your house, with the things that plug in and the candles and all of that, it was a journey. I mean, that was a total journey for me. It was like you just started getting rid of some of those things that they are hormone disruptors, they are endocrine disruptors, they are going to create havoc in your body. All those scents, and I can't even be around those scents anymore. It drives me crazy. But it is a journey for that. As far as, I agree with you guys. You got to test. Out in the community, in the health community, test, don't guess, because you don't know what your body needs, and what my body needs is not the same as Leigh Ann or Julie or Bree. at any given time, we need something different, and it changes all the time. I do take supplements. I go to a functional medicine practitioner, and she tests me for each of the supplements that I take, and it's not ones that she sells. So it's, she tests me for, okay, you need vitamin D. Well, this one doesn't work for you, but this one does. So she's looking at it at an even deeper level. But you know, as far as vitamin D goes, and yes, D3 with K2, is that pretty much everybody needs it. I'm out in the sun all the time, and I'm not at, if I go get tested, I am probably not at the therapeutic level, you know, for that, or actually the functional level for that. So, and it matters to all of your health with your vitamin D levels. Another one is magnesium. You are probably low in magnesium, and magnesium is like, I think it's over 300 different functions in your body. Your body needs magnesium. But back to the D3, K2. K2 also helps put the calcium where it belongs in your body. So it's taking the calcium out of the blood and putting it back into your bones, back into your teeth. So that is really important. But, you know, there's a lot of different things that you can do. And some of this I'm going to save because I know Natalie is one that asked us to speak into this, and she's in our group. And so I've got some, you know, some other little things, tidbits that I would like to share with her, because I think that that would be of great value to her. But there are so many things that you can do for free to help you with your mental anxiety, depression, and even stress. Like we were talking about going outside. So yes, we need to go outside, and there's lots of things that you can do outside that will help with that too. Exercise definitely is number one, but there are more. So I'm going to say some of that for our special group.
All right. Well, on that note, we will go into the membership and finish up our training for today. But we thank you for joining into this podcast, and we ask that you please be sure to give us a 5-star review and make sure that you let us know what you would like to hear from us. We have a goal to reach 1,000 women this year, and we need your help to do that. And the more you review our podcast and help us get it out into the world, the faster we can reach those women. So if you have not joined our membership yet, we ask that you pop in there and join it. Today's training is, from the sounds of it, going to be really, really good, and you're going to want to get in on that. So $7 a month, what have you got to lose? And in the meantime, please remember to
like,
Subscribe.
Share.
and press that notification bell so you get notified every time we put out a new podcast. We will see you next week. Bye, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing that came to mind that I wanted to say for in the membership was buying supplements. So if you do choose to supplement, which I do supplement D, and I supplement B, but I supplement B with nutritional yeast, because I've recently been watching some of Dr. Eric Berg's YouTube videos. And he's got a lot of valuable information about B and how you can't really get quality B through supplementation alone. So I've started supplementing B with nutritional yeast, and you know, I love nutritional yeast. I just can't have popcorn in the house with it. I just eat a spoonful of it. So, but anyway, there is a third party, and I'm a little leery about them right now just because of some of the stuff I've seen on them, but I still think that they're doing their testing the way they're supposed to. There's a third party testing website called labdoor.com that you can go look at, and they're supposed to be non-biased and testing all supplements to see what's better for us to put, what's the cleanest for us to put in our bodies. I would suggest, if you're going to look into supplementation, that you do that and just be leery of shopping for supplements on Amazon. I've recently learned that they're actually really dirty supplements. So,
Oh,
yeah,
I
I've been
don't-
buying supplements on Amazon anymore.
I do not buy them on Amazon either, or at Walmart or whatever grocery store or anything like that. I like personally, I'm going to share this with our members. I like pureencapsulations.com. That's where we order most things from.
Oh yeah, I've seen
Where'd you
that.
say?
Pure Encapsulations.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
I
use
like that. What do you use, Sheri?
from them. It's one of the only things I buy from them, but it's actually what I use for if I have a headache or we have any pain, or Lane uses it when he has allergies because it helps reduce the inflammation. And I cannot, they changed the name of what it is. It's like a bizarre name. I will have to look for it and I will let you guys know.
Cool.
But it's
you can
excellent.
share the link with us.
Yeah, it's like a natural, it does have willow, was it willow tree in it, or for aspirin, you know, that's a willow bark. Yeah, that's a natural aspirin. It has turmeric in it. It has a lot of anti-inflammatories.
Oh yeah, turmeric is supposed to help, and ginger are both supposed to help a lot with pain.
Yeah,
ginger,
studies, that actually turmeric and ginger actually do help with inflammation and treat pain. So pretty cool.
Yeah. And you know, that's the interesting part. Like you talk about supplements and things like that. And it's not, I think a lot of times people think, well, I can just throw a pill in my mouth and it's gonna fix it, you know? And really doing that, you're really compounding the issue, you know, in some cases, because you haven't taken away what could be the problem, you know? And so I think food is a huge one. And but again, you know, once you start it, you got to give it time to really see the effects, because eventually when you feed your body what it needs and then you take it away, when you yearn for it or you miss it, and you wish you had it, then you can go, that's when you're like, okay, I see the difference. And I think that's the amazing piece of it. I want to say, out of all this stuff, the one thing that's really going to be beneficial is prayer. Because you figuring it out on your own is one way, but if you know, your mind is going to go all over the place and get confused, and am I doing it right and I'm doing it wrong, and who do I listen to? But I really believe though that if this is something that, you know, you guys are wanting to do, and just to find, you know, supplements and really the true mental health piece of it, I believe is bigger than anything, is just to pray about what it is that you want. You know, like for me, it could be, I want to know how to be the healthiest version of myself. What does that look like for me? Or, you know, I really want to eat. What does that look like for me? You know, what do I need to nurture my body? And I keep going to my cells, but I just vision that the things that I put in my body were killing my cells, because that's true. It's just pure sugar and junk. But then, you know, like when I started finding that health component of it, and I, you know, started taking, you know, my regimen and started using like a morning regimen, I knew that it was coming from him, and I knew that I had made the best choices. And I even had grace to change and to swap things out, because I knew that this is something that may, even one product would work for a while and then it would not, and all of that was okay. And so I think that's the start of all of this, like all of this advice that you get, take it, apply it, and then just say, what's right for me? Which way do I go? And I do think that you are going to find it interesting to see what changes come to you first, because it may be something you don't even expect. So I wouldn't even put a guideline, you know, as to what that will look like. I would just wait and see what God puts in front of you, you know, because he may appear something that you would have never thought of. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there because it jumped out. But, and I think it's something to think about as you're listening to these girls too, because I mean, it just gives you really more room to pray, to say, which way do I go? What do I do? You know? And that's the cool part, because when you ask it, then he's going to tell you specifically. So I think the beauty of hearing all of us talk is that now you can go say, okay, what supplements do I need, and hear it, or what kind of food do I need, and start hearing it. I'm so excited.
You're so cute. I agree. I think prayer is a really good idea. It's a really good idea. There's also a company online, there's probably multiples now, but there's a home testing company called Everly Well. and I've used them before. So if you don't have a doctor or you don't want to make a doctor's appointment, their tests are, you know, $300 to $500, I think, to get a panel done. I don't know in terms of the accuracy of them. I've used them before and I assume they were okay, but like for me, I have insurance, but I don't have a doctor. I don't have a primary care physician. So for me, it's easier to use something like that than go to a doctor. I don't like doctors. So I don't not like doctors. I just don't like taking the time to go to the doctor. It's really selfish because I don't like going. That's what it's about. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there because there are alternatives as well if you can't get to a doctor's office. But I'm glad that Breanne and Sheri talked about getting your blood work done, because they're right. You can't supplement for things that you don't know you need. So.
And you can do more damage too.
Mhm.
If you're taking things that you don't need.
Yeah.
Lots more, yeah.
That's in your body. I was thinking the exact same thing that you were thinking, Julie. The most important thing you can do is pray and keep God number one in your life and listen to what he says that you need, because he knows. He's already seen the future, he's seen the past, he created you, he knows what you need the most of everything. And you know, the Bible says that those who fear the Lord will not lack any good thing. He wants to give us every good thing that he can. So he knows what's good for us, and so we should be talking to him about it. So yeah. And so too, I also wanted to drop in just like basic things like smiling and laughing, finding something to laugh at, smiling at yourself, at other people, like getting smiles from people, and physical touch, like hugs, you know, long hugs bring a lot of stress relief and healing to people, you know, just being around the people that you love, recognizing the things that bring you joy, and making sure that you include those in your day, like spending time with God, spending time with your loved ones, and laughing at something every day. So finding reasons to be joyful. So yeah, for myself, I have to remember to focus on the good things and on what I have and all the good things that have happened, and not on what hasn't happened yet, or what or the bad things that could happen, or you know what I mean, like keeping my thoughts focused on good things and not on hard, stressful things. So not always easy to do, but you know, the idea of keeping our mind focused on joyful things is just one of the simple things. So yeah.
I agree with the prayer, and it brought up a couple of thoughts that I had. One was praying, period, over your food. So when you pray over your food, you can actually change the food. So if it's not, you're out to eat and maybe it's not a really super healthy meal, or you don't have a lot of choices to eat healthier, we're just praying over the food that, you know, that God would use it to nourish your body. So that's, you know, one thing. If you can't, you know, afford a lot of healthier foods, that's just another way that you can help your body. The other thing is, it reminded me with a lot of times I'll wake up in the morning and just lay there in my bed, and I will be praying or mulling through something that I'm trying to figure out, and I'll be like, so, and I remember doing it a lot more with my animals. Why is she having this issue, you know, that my dog or whatever, or even for me? And I would get my answers. So, you know, think about that, you know, just asking the questions of what could I do differently? You know, what might help me in this situation or today? Because yeah, God does want to tell you. And the other thing I was going to say is with medications, most medications came from something natural. So they have changed it because they can't sell it in the natural form, because they can't sell plants, they can't, and put their pharmacy labels on them. So they started with something that was, they knew worked. So finding those things like turmeric, and I know they're trying to patent CBD oil right now, and CBD oil is, another thing that can help with mental health. I know a lot of people that are taking it in one form or another. So those are some different things. But there was something else I was going to say too, but I can't remember what it is now. But anyway, I've been taking a lot of classes right now on digestion, and your mental health is based on your gut. So getting your gut in line and not having that leaky gut, which means that you're eating better foods. And the better foods may not necessarily be better foods that are better for me. They may not work for me, but they might work for you. So healthy foods are not always, what do I want to say, the healthiest for everybody. So we all can't eat the same things because God made us unique, and we all have different ways of eating, which you can tell from all of us. We eat different ways that nourish our bodies, and finding those things, but healing your gut is going to help with any mental issues, anxiety, depression. So think about that. And one way that you can do some of that is through grounding, and grounding is free. So get outside, get your feet in the grass, get your toes in the grass. And I did read one lady who healed herself through grounding, and she's a doctor, and she calls herself the intuition physician, and you can go look her up, is that she would go out and she would eat one meal a day outside. And she would sit out, make a picnic, put her feet on the ground and eat her meal. And that helped heal her gut. So think about that. Just the frequencies from the earth is healing your body. God made those frequencies in this earth to help heal us. So that is just another way that you can help heal yourself. But your health, whatever it is going to start in your gut. So that's your number one.
They call it the second brain for a reason.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
There's some
everything
other
goes back
things
and forth.
too. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
There's, while you were talking, I went and got an acupuncture pillow. So there's a lot of things too that we can use that will calm, like if you're having trouble just kind of grounding. So like for me, if I'm on a conference call or if I'm doing certain things, I'll put this on my feet. And it leaves you in the moment, but it really calms it just calms that nervous system down. So and that's something we can talk about, all these tools, at another call, but I just wanted to piggyback on what Sheri was saying, the grounding, and really finding what calms you is another super, super important thing, because again, you can take all the supplements and be doing more harm than good, So finding that balance does a lot for like your heart and all the organs in the body, because it's like when you have the, tension, or when you have all the fumes that are in your house, it's almost like your whole entire rib cage becomes a lock cage. So when you start finding these things and you start changing supplements and changing in the way you eat, it's almost like an entire body release and relaxing. And it's a new form of identifying yourself, because it's by what you choose rather than what the government and the grocery stores and everybody else kind of throws at you and sells. It's like, oh, I'm the boss, But I think things like this, the grounding, going outside, and just finding a way to identify how to do those things will be big. And maybe that's something we can talk about, for our next call, maybe. I don't know. But, yeah.
You made me think of sugar as well. Sugar is huge in causing issues with mental health.
Yeah.
I mean,
seed oils, all the seed oils.
Seed oils, yeah. Oh yeah, but it's just the sugar is just a comfort. There's a comfort in that, and it's doing a lot more damage.
Yeah.
To your gut, to your immune system, to everything. But yeah, seed oils are a whole nother story.
Oh yeah. But my point is, like, they use them. I asked a restaurant not too long ago, and I've been seeing a lot of this on social media, what kind of oil they use. And of course they want to say I looked on their website, and of course they say they use olive oil, but the reality is it's got 90% canola oil in it. It's so little of, and they can just say that they're using olive oil because it says olive oil on the bottle. So restaurants have become privy to the fact that people are really trying to get healthy, and oil companies have created these oils that will allow them to say that they're using an oil because it says it on the bottle, but it's really a mix. And so, this just kind of falls into being wary of what you're doing when you're not in your home. I mean, we're all going to be exposed to toxins of some sort all the time. But the idea is to make it as little as possible, because if you really want to heal your mental health by healing your gut, by healing your body, by getting your hormones right, by getting your vitamins right, then the ease and quickness of eating out and buying prepackaged foods in the stores is probably one of the first places to start, because those oils leach all the vitamins and nutrients that you've got going through your body and pull them out. I just lost my whole train of thought. The prepackaged foods. I was going to say something about the prepackaged foods. Well, they're just so toxic anyway. I mean, that's just really all there is to it. They're full of chemicals. They're full of things that you shouldn't be putting in your body. You probably all saw this too. One of the doctors that we follow on social media yesterday or the other day had a McDonald's French fries have 19 ingredients in them, because the salt that they use has 3 ingredients in it. The oil that they use has like 5 different ingredients in it. They're all synthetic. None of it's natural. It's beyond comprehension. And what used to be a potato fried in beef fat, which is how McDonald's started their business, is now a potato fried in very heavy 5 different types of seed oils and vegetable oils, and then they add beef flavoring in that has maltodextrin and all these other chemicals that you shouldn't be putting in your body. So, fast food is always,
I quit doing what made them so famous.
Yeah, and fast food is always the one that everybody knows is the evil culprit. They're the villain. They're the place that you don't want to go. But the reality is, most of the restaurants that you go into are doing the same thing. And unless you're in a more nutrition friendly place, like I know some of the Southern California places will do it. I'm sure there's probably places in Florida that will do it, but if you ask them to cook your food in butter, sometimes they will. But the restaurant that Tyler and I eat at every week, they said that they use butter, and I asked for clarification. Nope, it's margarine. So, yeah. So just don't be afraid to ask about your food when you go into a restaurant, because the whole purpose of healing is to know what's going into your body. And that's the thing, is we just want to trust that restaurants have our best interest at heart, but I'm so sorry, all they have at heart is that cha-ching. So.
Yeah. Well, and this comes to mind too. So I just have to say this is a lot. We have talked about a lot. We've not talked about one thing, 2 things. We've talked all over the place in 59 things. And it becomes, what the heck? I don't even know where to start. And so you don't. And I think that is where the prayer is going to really be helpful, and just giving yourself grace and knowing that one size does not fit all. End of story. One size does not fit all. And you cannot listen to everybody and their mother's brother, because some people, even when you get healthy, they're like, oh, you're getting healthy, are you? And if you fall off the wagon for a day, it's okay. You just get back up and get back on the bike. I mean, it's like really learning how to ride a bike. And you just have to put all that to the side and just be like, okay, Jesus, I'm on your plan. Because if you don't, learning how to do all this, just the journey of it in itself can be exhausting, and interesting and rewarding. So all the things, don't let me make you think it's dreadful. But sometimes it does change the relationships of who you're around, or they'll make little snide comments or remarks. And I want to say that hold to yourself, because you could almost be the catalyst to their change. They may make comments in the beginning, but by you leading it in prayer, you may pull them down the same path, or they may see the change in you. This is what's really cool, is when people see the change in you and they're like, well, what are you doing? And you're like, well, I'm doing this. And they're like, no way. And you're like, yeah. So, it'll take a little while, but I'm excited for you in here to see what happens. And here's the other thing. When you give us things like this and you say, hey, I want to hear, or I want to know about, it fuels our fire, and it really excites us because we have something to share, and we don't know it all, but we know lots of people who know more than we do, which is really cool too, because, we can share those resources with you. So the more we know, the more we can share and show and bring to you guys, which is, what's so beautiful about you being here. So I just really want to encourage you any way you want to get it across. It can be a DM, it could be an email, it could be a whatever. But that's the best part about being here. And any thoughts, ideas, heck, I don't care what it is. If you think, hey, this would be beneficial, share, let us know, because that's what really, these are the things that get us excited. So I want to say thank you for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we'll end on a note. Alice Cooper recently said, you can drink and party all night long. That's easy. You can tear up a hotel room and destroy it. That's easy. But being a Christian, that's where the real hard part comes in. And it's no different than when you're getting yourself healthy and you're surrounded by people who don't want to be a part of that. So just think about that. Think about being that disciple for yourself, and then make sure you're talking to God about it.
Who said that?
Alice Cooper.
Just read that again.
Oh, it wasn't verbatim, but he said,
Just
drinking and
paraphrase.
partying all night long is easy. Tearing up a hotel room and destroying it is easy. But being a Christian, now that's where the real hard work comes in, because he's been a Christian his whole life. And, everybody thought he was a Satan worshiper for many years. So, or he hasn't been a Christian his whole life. He's been a Christian for the majority of his adult life. And now
That was really cool, because
very
that's
vocal
really
about
how
it.
life is, isn't it?
Mhm.
Mhm. That's awesome.
Yep. All right. Well, we thank you so much for joining us in this training. Please have your friends come join you. We really want to reach. I don't know if you ever watched the end of our actual podcast, but we have a goal to reach 1,000 women this year, and we need your help to do it. So please share all this information. Let them know what you're learning in the membership group so that we can continue to grow and help as many women as possible. The membership, as you already know, is only $7 a month. So we're just asking for your help in growing it. And we'll see you next time.
In the sky, don't let me fall